For better or for worse, the world of crypto moves at lightning speed. If nothing else, this is evidenced by the sheer amount of capital that has flooded into the decentralized finance sphere over the recent past. In August of 2020, the total value locked, or TVL, in DeFi was just 7.5 billion. Today, that figure has surpassed 85 billion. But the exponential growth of the DeFi sphere could mean that the market still faces a number of infrastructural challenges, and the significant number of hacks, exploits, and other incidents seem to indicate that DeFi is going through some growing pains. Finance magnates recently caught up with Michael Pearl, Chief Operating Officer at Kirobo, to discuss the risks of the DeFi world and some possible solutions. I'm Rachel McIntosh, and this is FMTV. So, Michael Pearl, it is an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show. Welcome, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. The honor is all mine. I'm a great fan of finance magnets, and I'm very happy to be here.
Absolutely. So, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and the work that you do?
Sure. So my name is Michael Pearl. I live in Israel. In terms of my background, I'm a lawyer, so nobody's perfect. Um, I've been in the space of fintech and crypto for the last decade or so. I was for 5 years, as you probably know, I was the editor-in-chief of Finance Magnets. And later on, I was the director of content, and I was involved in a lot of interesting news stories. At the time, I remember that we broke the exclusively the story about the Google ad ban that now is in the you can see it in the headlines right now from a different perspective. And I was involved in a lot of conferences during my time there. I was also working for a company called Natural Intelligence, where I was the head of content for the fintech department. And I also worked with a lot of startups and companies in the realms of fintech, crypto, DeFi, helping them scale and grow and enter new markets, growing their clientele, things of that sort. And for the last 6 months or so, I'm the COO of Kirobo.
Yes, so full disclosure for our audience, I am in fact interviewing my former boss. But as you said, Michael, I'll not spare you any mercy at all. I'm going to grill you throughout this interview, so we have that to look forward to.
Feel free.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about Kirobo. What do you guys do?
Sure. So Kirobo is a blockchain technology company. We're based in Tel Aviv, Israel. And we're a technology first company. We're focused on the product and on the service. Kirobo's vision, and that's something that the founders have reiterated when I entered the company, and that's something that I really liked about the company. The vision is basically twofold. One is obviously something that we share with other DeFi companies and in general crypto companies of being your own bank, giving you control over your money, over your crypto. And the second one that I think is more unique to Kirobo, we define ourselves as the enablers of DeFi. I know it's very pretentious, but the idea behind the products and behind the general philosophy of the company is little by little to make DeFi from a vision to reality. And we'll dive in to talk about the products and the future products. But in general, something that unites all the products are this perception that we want to make DeFi more accessible, less dangerous, less cumbersome, and even cheaper.
Cheaper. How
Yeah.
how so?
I think we'll get to that when we'll talk about the products, but essentially, every person that uses the existing platforms, the existing wallets, knows that he's losing money either due to human error or to a bunch of problems that those, bugs and glitches that those systems have, or due to fees and gas price and other taxes that we pay to the crypto gods. So we aim to lower those prices and fees as much as we can. And that's something that we already see in our existing products, and we're going to see it more some in our future products.
Okay, so let's get down to the products. What are your main offerings?
Sure. So Kirobo started off with its product for which it's mostly known, which is the crypto undo button. Basically, the idea was that a problem that hurts deep down inside in the stomach for many crypto users is the issue of you can lose your funds in a heartbeat, in a second. You just send it to the wrong address, you just send it to the wrong chain, or you send it to a smart contract, and there are a lot of different use cases when that happens, and you can lose your money. There are so many stories on Twitter, on Reddit, of people that lost their money. And this problem has become more acute now with the shift to DeFi. Because back in the days, Rachel, when me and you worked
Mhm.
at Finance Magnets, and let's say like 5 years ago, most people kept their crypto on exchanges. The exchanges were the custodians, and then if something happens, if the exchange is of a certain quality, you could call the client support, the customer support, and you could try to retrieve your money. You could have some sort of a plan B for getting your money back. And obviously this wasn't perfect as well. But now, when most money is kept on MetaMask, on Trezor, on other wallets, um, the money is yours, and you are your own bank. Obviously, that's the purpose. But you also have the responsibility. So now, when you send money from wallet to wallet, when you send crypto from wallet to wallet, there's a very good chance of that money, of that crypto, landing on a wallet that don't want it to land at. Now, there are a lot of companies that are offering some retrieval services. Obviously, it's not really retrieval. They're tracking the address, trying to reach out to the person. In most cases, it doesn't work. And if it does, then you need to pay a hefty fee to get your money back, and you need to go through a lot of headaches and problems. So our CTO and the CEO, the founders, they wrap their heads around it, and they try to find a solution. And indeed, they found a solution. The solution is unique, it's patented, and I'm not aware of any other solutions that can match to that. The idea, I'm going to explain how it works in Ether or with ERC20 tokens, because in Bitcoin it's slightly more complex. But our main use case is Ether. Okay.
Mhm.
So in Ether, basically, we added another layer of protection, of security to every transaction. Once you want to execute a transaction, you enter a passcode, and this passcode is unique. This passcode is your own passcode that you decide upon. We're not exposed to it. And this passcode basically protects your transaction up until the point when the recipient has entered his passcode. Again, your passcode, but from his side, and then the money goes through. Everything in between is basically that the transaction is pending. It didn't come through. And at any point, again, up until the point when the person entered the passcode from the other side, you can retrieve the transaction, and the money goes back to your wallet, and nothing has happened. That's basically the idea. The system now supports almost every wallet out there that supports the ERC20 and Ether tokens. The system is very straightforward. You just connect to the system, click connect your wallet, and from there on, it takes you something like 5 minutes. You have a log of all your transfers, so you can see which transfers you canceled and which transfers went through. Again, there are tons of use cases. Just to give you an example, I heard the other day about a malware that, let's say you need to send me a certain sum of crypto, and I give you my address. So you highlight the address, you copy it, and then once you paste it, the address changes to an address of a person that basically programmed the malware, and
Hmm.
you're sending the money to that person. Now, if you use Kirobo, nothing will happen because this person from the other side, he will not be exposed to the passcode, and he can never retrieve this. He can never accept these funds,
Hmm.
and you can cancel them at any point. The system has processed to date $1.7 billion
Wow.
in thousands of different transactions. And something that I'm very proud of is the fact that we saved $7 million in retrieved funds in many different use cases of people sending their money and then deciding to retrieve them back. So the system went through a very serious stress case, and we proved that we deliver.
So, how much does this service cost, and who can use it?
So the service is free of charge. We don't charge any fees. Obviously, there is the gas price, the taxes to the gods of crypto, as I coined it, and that is obviously something that you need to pay. The good thing about it is that you are rewarded with the Kiro tokens for every transaction you make, and the reward is always higher than the fee. So
Hmm.
basically, you execute your transaction for free, and you even get some change back that you can use in the future.
Right. So what I really like about this is that, as you said, there's this kind of sexy idea about crypto that you can be your own bank. But what a lot of people don't realize at first is that on a practical level, that means that you also assume all of your own risks. So we really need these kinds of products in order to, provide that extra layer of insurance, let's say, although maybe insurance isn't the best word, that things won't go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. There are studies about, first of all, there are studies about, the amount of money lost, and there are different figures. We also have conducted our own study because we examined the transactions that went through us, and we tried to calculate how much money is lost on a daily basis in accordance to that. So it's millions of dollars on a daily basis in different cryptos, in different tokens. And the problem is very acute, and the problem, even the mere danger of you losing your money, you don't even have to lose it, but it prevents you from sending crypto, from interacting and engaging with other people. By the way, it's also a problem for companies. A lot of companies nowadays are interacting, paying to suppliers, to service providers in crypto. When you do that on a daily basis, then obviously every day there is a danger of you losing your money. And sometimes we're talking about millions in one single transaction.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't something that just happens to newcomers in the crypto space. It also happens to really experienced people.
Yeah, indeed. That's something that can happen to anyone. What people usually do, and that's the practice that we had so far, is you sending like a ping, small transaction, and then sending the larger transaction with the entire sum of money. And that's obviously not a very good practice because, again, it can only get you this far, because if the person from the other side tries to scam you, then it won't really help you. And plus, it's obviously also expensive because you need to pay the gas price. There are a lot of different, practices that people use, but I think that our solution is very straightforward. It solves the problem. It's cheap, and I think it's a no-brainer. What our goal, and I'm being fully transparent here, our goal is to have the safe transfer, the use of the undo button, to become the standard for the industry, because it's a no-brainer for you to use it. It's simple, it's accessible, and it significantly lowers the risk of human error and of malware.
Yeah, exactly. And so the when users use this product, they are rewarded with Kiro tokens. How is this being funded?
Sure. So at the moment, we're focused on growing our network and to increase usability. We view this as basically a way to grow the network and to incentivize people to use the network. So at the moment, it's not. We don't charge fees, and we even pay people to use the system. We see the value in this at the moment. When we'll reach a certain level of users, then we may change the plans, but it will always be very cheap, and it will always be at a very low price, and we don't want to. We obviously want people to use it in the future. So for the time being, that's the plan that we have for using the system and rewarding the people with it.
I see. And your plans to become the industry standard. What are you doing in order to achieve that goal? Obviously, you've got the product. How are you marketing it? And do you have competition that you're working against?
Sure. So it's a very good question. I'll start from your last question. As far as we know, we don't have any any competitors at the moment. I'm not familiar with other solutions that offer something that is even close to that. I would, love to have competition because we do want to improve, and we want to raise awareness, and we believe that the crypto space is big enough for two or more players.
Mhm.
But then again, we're also confident in our system, in its security, in its robustness. So, bring it on.
Bring it on. Yes.
As for your prior question, you asked us about the marketing strategy. So the marketing strategy thus far was quite minimal.
Mhm.
Uh, the the amount of crypto that went through the system was almost organic. It was almost word of mouth, and just people that tried the system and recommended it. A lot of influencers that liked the system and recommended it on their YouTubes and TikToks and so on.
Mhm.
We got some very good exposure on the media, including finance magnets.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, so that's what happened this far. We are now engaged in a few campaigns because we do want to boost the usability of the system. We are also in talks with various exchanges and wallets to integrate the system within their systems, because
Okay.
we believe that such companies that offer services and that are processing thousands of transactions per day, and people are withdrawing their money and sending them money and so on, they need this layer of protection as well. So we are in talks with exchanges, with wallets, with payment service providers, with custodians, basically every company that is interacted with transferring crypto on a daily basis.
I see. So if somebody wants a piece of the pie here, can they
Mhm.
purchase Kiro tokens on an exchange, or is it something that you have to use in order to get the Kiro tokens?
Sure. So we thus far we sold the Kiro tokens only to accredited investors.
I see.
It's important to stress that as far as purchasing the coins and getting the rewards, unfortunately, U.S.-based, Canadian-based, and Israeli-based users cannot be involved in that. We cannot. They are blocked effectively from receiving the awards. We would love to have them as customers, but we cannot, and we do not want to send them Kiro tokens. We are currently traded on Uniswap mostly,
Mhm.
and that's basically it at the moment. We are in talks with other exchanges, but that's not something that I can disclose at the moment.
I see. So I want to talk about another of Kirobo's offerings, which is this peer-to-peer swap platform. Can you tell me about that?
Sure. So the idea behind the peer-to-peer swap, and you see how I'm starting from the problem and going to the solution, because that's the logical process that we had here. The problem that we saw was the fact that a lot of people want to swap crypto directly, peer-to-peer. They don't want to go through intermediaries. They don't want to go through exchanges. They don't want to go through OTCs and other platforms that are offering those services. People want to swap between their peers, between counterparties. The thing is, nowadays, you don't have any platform or any technology that can provide that. So obviously, you can go to the DEXs and you can swap there, but you're doing it against a pool. And there are a lot of issues with that. We have much respect for the DEXs. They have promoted the ecosystem, but there are also some disadvantages in swapping via DEXs. Obviously, you pay a fee, and you have a slippage, which is basically if you want to offload a big chunk of crypto, you need to pay a certain price. Basically, the crypto that you receive in return is much smaller than what you would expect. So say you want, let's say for the example that the price of Ether now is $3,000 or 3,000 USDT. If you want to sell one, you will indeed receive 3,000 USDT minus the fee. But if you want to sell 100 Ether, you will not receive the equivalent times 100. You receive much less. And that's basically the slippage. Because once you offer a big amount of crypto, you are influencing the market. And the algorithm of the DEX needs to calculate how you're going to change the price of the coin. Hence the slippage. And in many cases, it can go up to 20, 30% of your money. So you're, you start this endeavor hoping to get a certain amount, and then you're getting significantly less. And that's definitely a problem. And I'm gonna elaborate on how we tackle this problem.
Okay.
Another option is to go through OTCs, but it's very complex because first of all, there's a KYC process. And again, you need to pay a fee. And it's basically a solution that is that works much better for large companies, for whales, and so on. So what the only option that is left is basically to do it manually. So say me and you want to exchange, I want to send you Ether, you want to send me Uni. We can, just agree that I'm sending you this at midnight and you're sending me that at midnight. And then we have this, this discussion on who goes first, right? Because I don't know you. Even if I know you, maybe I don't trust you. Not personally, obviously. with you, I would swap manually, no problem.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it.
But in most use cases, you have this problem of who goes first, and due to that problem, nobody swaps that way. No one is doing that. People want to swap, people want to exchange coins, and they're not doing it at the moment. So the solution that we found is basically it builds up on the technology of the undo button. We created a swap that is executed simultaneously. Basically, what you do is you give an order for the swap. You're stating, your wallet address, the type of token that you want to give, the type of token that you want to receive, and the sum of money that you want to receive per each token. By the way, it doesn't have to be attached to the market price. So if you want to give someone a discount, if you have agreed on a different price, it's your prerogative. Now, once you do that, you sign the transfer, you sign the swap on your MetaMask, let's say, and your counterparty needs to do the same thing. And as we do with the undo button, there is a passcode involved. So up until the point when the person from the other side enters his passcode, the swap doesn't come through. And you can, first of all, undo the swap. And the swap only goes through when the other person entered the passcode and signed the transaction. So that way, it's perfectly trustless. You don't need to trust that person. You don't even have to trust Kirobo because the system works on a smart contract that executes the swap, and you can go wrong with that. That's basically how it works. In terms of the advantages of the system, beyond just the trust issue, you have the issue of fees, because as you probably know, the fees, the gas price, sorry, not the fees, the gas price is calculated in accordance to the usability of the system. So when you're at peak time, let's say in the States, you're going to pay more for the transaction. Whereas in this case, if you want to trade with me and we agreed on the price, we can agree that the counterparty that executes the transaction, the second person, he can do it at midnight US time, and then the prices are going to be much lower. Second advantage is we don't charge a fee. If you go to the DEXs or to OTCs, you will pay a fee for the mere transaction of the swap. And third, which is even more significant, is the issue of slippage. So I gave you the example of how if you want to swap 100 Ether, you're going to get much less, right?
Mhm.
So you would say, okay, so we can agree on a certain price, but that probably means that the person on the other side is going to pay more. But
Right.
that's not the case, because the person on the other side, he wants to offload a certain amount of uni, and it's a big chunk of uni because it's the equivalent of 100 Ether.
Mhm.
When he or she will go to a DEX, they will also pay the slippage price. So it's a win-win situation when they just do it outside of the market and in their agreed upon price for both parties. They don't pay the price, they get exactly what they expect to get. It's fair, and it's significantly cheaper.
Right. So I think a lot of people, or sort of the narrative in the DeFi world, is that decentralized exchanges eliminate middlemen. They eliminate the centralized third parties that charge fees and, collect a profit, et cetera, which is true. However, these platforms still do come at a cost. These costs to you got to pay your dues to the gods of crypto, as you've said, um, in terms of fees that the DEXs charge, as well as price slippage, as you said.
Yeah. We just want to give people another way to swap coins, to trade. Same thing with companies. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of companies are now engaged with crypto as a form of payment, and oftentimes they're getting a certain token and a big amount of a certain token, and it's of no use to them, or they want to hedge themselves against this token, losing its value. So they want to swap big amounts of money, and perhaps the person from the other side wants to do the same thing, but with the opposite token. And it's a whole new way to swap, to trade, to interact. And we think that the solution will increase the usability of crypto, will promote mass adoption, and is again yet another building block in the DeFi vision.
Yeah. So I want to zoom out a minute for a minute and talk a little bit about the DeFi vision, sort of the DeFi world at large.
Mhm.
What are you most interested in at the moment? And also, knowing you, Michael, I want to ask this question. What do you think is happening in the world right now that has really spurred this massive interest in DeFi?
Sure. So um, what I'm saying is not something original or new, but I do want to frame this conversation because it's important to understand the thought process that
Mm,
eventually led to Kirobo and to many other companies that are in the realms of DeFi, and what pushed them to set up their shop and to become successful, and hopefully even more successful.
mm,
So back in the days, everything was about hodling, and I have much respect for Bitcoin and for Bitcoiners and for hodlers. It's
uh-huh.
their prerogative. They can do whatever they want with their money. They believe that Bitcoin is going to the moon. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. But that's one philosophy. Now, Ethereum, the network, and there are some other networks that are now trying to catch up, like Polkadot and Cardano. They offered a different philosophy, saying that sitting on your money is not enough. You can make your money work for you, just
Mhm.
like you can do it with fiat currency, obviously with all the disadvantages of fiat. But you wouldn't hold $100,000 in your bank account. You would do something with that money. You would put it in some sort of an investment.
Right.
um, so beyond trading, which is not for everyone, because you need to obviously track the value, you need to be very quick, you need to work in that, you need to put a lot of effort into trading, and
Mhm.
obviously the risks are much higher. So you had to create some sort of a layer in between the hodlers and the traders. Obviously, it's not mutually exclusive because people can be both or all three, but basically you needed to create another layer to make it more sensible to keep this this crypto. And along came DeFi, right? And
Yeah.
now you have so many. You asked me to to put my finger on one single project or a direction, but I think all the DeFi ecosystem is amazing, and I
Yeah.
really encourage the listeners to to go to Google and to see all those diagrams and infographics of the DeFi ecosystem, and you see all those different companies that are offering you staking opportunities and offering you compound and um, um, uh, uh, um, loans with crypto with different mechanisms and different methodologies, and you have insurance companies, and you have a lot of different use cases in the DeFi space, which basically everything leads to one single thing: you can make your money work for you.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this world has a lot of dangers because nothing comes for free. You get a you are rewarded with money. You can have an interest that is much higher than what you would do with in the regular. And by no means this is a an investment consultation. I'm just stating the obvious here. And this comes with a price because there are a lot of dangers in this world, and people need to do their due diligence. And some of the dangers are in the realms of what we're taking care of. Others are more related to the markets and so on, because we're now doing good in terms of the crypto token prices, but who knows when the next winter is going to come. So yeah, so just to recap and summarize, DeFi has opened a lot of opportunities for people.
Mhm.
You asked me how it's affected by what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
So obviously, I think that wherever you are, whether you are in the States or in Africa or in the Far East or in Israel, you cannot be sure that your money is safe. You cannot be
Mhm.
sure that the inflation that I know that people in the US are already sensing it, and the numbers don't match what you see in your paycheck and what you see when you go to buy your groceries. You
Mhm.
see that you can buy much less for your money, and you don't care what Jerome Powell is saying. Eventually, you see that inflation is upon us, and
Right.
we see the same thing in Israel, and obviously COVID has a lot to do with it. So we're definitely going towards a direction of a depreciation in our fiat currencies, of governments taking more money from the citizens. Obviously, we have now all this issue with the crypto taxation and a lot of different taxes that governments all around the world, it's not even about left or right, are imposing on their citizens. So people are looking for smarter, more technological ways to maintain their funds. So they're flocking into crypto, but then what you do with your money, and then we go back to what I just mentioned about DeFi. So it's very interesting, this cycle, and I really hope that it will empower people to be smarter about their money, and to save their hard-earned money for the long run.
Right, right, exactly. And I want to ask you also a little bit about this interesting phenomenon we're seeing with, of course, Elon Musk, but also Jack Dorsey and other people who sort of have this role of being, entrepreneurs, innovators, and also celebrities that
Yeah.
are involved in the crypto space. What are your thoughts on that? And are there any particular situations or projects that have caught your interest?
Sure. So I first of all, I don't want to say admire, but I have much respect for Elon Musk. Who am I to say that? But I'm just saying that people tend to catch some phrase that he said and either like it or hate it. But I think that on the greater scale, the person is an entrepreneur. He has done many great things with Tesla and all these projects. Some are maybe less successful, but at least he's trying and is investing a lot of his own money into it. So there's just a disclaimer. I think his involvement in the crypto space is mostly positive. I know that a lot of people who hold positions on Dogecoin or other currencies tend to be either very happy or very unhappy with what he's saying. I understand that when a single tweet or a single word in a Joe Rogan interview can either boost your coin or drop it. So that is not something that I can really comment on. But I think that Elon Musk, following the prior question that I elaborated about, DeFi and where it's going, I think that Elon Musk understands that crypto in general and DeFi in specific are the future of money. Maybe it won't happen in 5 years. Maybe it will take some more years to come. But eventually, the shift will go there, and it's inevitable. So he understands that he needs to be there, and he understands that his current projects need to address that, need to correspond with that. So I just read the other day that Musk is planning on having some sort of advertising advertising company in space, whatever that means. uh, and the payment for that will be solely in Ether. So I think it's a very smart idea. I think that it will be beneficial for his company, and I think it will be good for the crypto community in terms of promoting mass adoption, dropping the FUD. And I think that we will see much more things of that sort in the future. The last 2 years were kind of under the wave of institutional money going into crypto. So many people viewed this as, okay, it's the Wall Street bankers that want to make a quick buck from the new trend, and not everyone were necessarily happy about it. But I think that the projects and the things that we see from Jack Dorsey, from Elon Musk, from Peter Thiel, and many other entrepreneurs that touch both on the crypto and on the traditional finance, we see the unique thing about it is that this promotes mass adoption. This promotes usability of crypto. So I think it's very interesting. One last thing that I wanted to say is I read Jack Dorsey's tweet about his company that is setting up right now, and that he aims to bring DeFi into Bitcoin. So I'm not really sure how it's going to work from the technological perspective, because as you all know, Bitcoin has a lot of disadvantages and a lot of boundaries in terms of the technology. Obviously, also some advantages on the security side of things. So it would be interesting to see how he's going to do that. That's a very ambitious goal, but that's why we have people like Dorsey and Musk who dream big.
Right, and I think you could say sort of love them or hate them. These are the people that are, as in a way, the face of crypto for the rest of the world.
Exactly.
Yeah. Michael, before we go, I want to ask you just for some closing thoughts. If there's anything that you hope that people take away from this conversation today, what is it?
Sure. So I think that just something that can summarize almost every every topic that we talked about here, and to have some closure to it. I think that we're living in an amazing time. I always give this example of this famous interview that Bill Gates had with David Letterman, where he sat down and Letterman was semi laughing at him, semi laughing with him, saying, what is this internet of yours? What is this email? Why do I need it? And he said, I have my magazines if I want to read something, and I can just talk with my friends instead of texting them, and stuff of that sort. This was in 1995. This wasn't in the Middle Ages. So I think that now we look at it, and me and you are now speaking via Zoom, and across the thousands of miles.
Mhm.
And we're in a totally different position now, where nothing goes on without the internet. So I think that we're now in 1995 with respect to Letterman and Bill Gates. and we're gonna get to not even 2021, but we'll get to, let's say, when did the internet kick in? Like, let's say Y2K was already a big thing, right? In the year 2000. We'll get there very soon. So I know it looks, kind of obscure right now, but I think that we'll get there very soon. And I think that people need to be prepared for that. And people need to understand that crypto will only become more sophisticated, more, niche. We will see a lot of projects that will offer, optimizations to existing solutions, small twitches to things that we already have. And I think that much more money of regular people from all over the world is going to move to crypto. And I think that it's here in Kirobo, it's our mission, and there are a lot of other companies that I'm sure that they share the same vision. It's our mission and it's our responsibility to make this world of crypto much more safe and much more able to facilitate all the needs of those people that are moving to crypto.
Absolutely. If people want to find out more about Kirobo, where can they look?
Sure. So they can go to our website, kirobo.io. They can look us up on Twitter. They can go to our Telegram page. They can go to our Reddit page. We have Instagram. We have TikTok. By the way, we have a video department that is doing some amazing TikToks. We will even launch a crypto podcast soon, but by no means it's a competition to you, Rachel. And yeah, they can find us anywhere. They can, DM us on LinkedIn, whatever works for them.
Michael, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Rachel.